yeah, like he's great, and he's just got such great images for his work too. Really draws you in.
Yeah, that's the other thing about just to add to the idea of electronic music. That also is what's cool about it is the visual behind like the CD covers or album covers or whatever. Like there's some really cool artwork that goes with it, you know, and it's just, I don't know.
And when people put thought into it, I just love it. Like, okay, you have to check out Deadlights, Keith Whitman. And
okay.
He did this album about World War II, and
nice.
When it was just starting,
and it's
incredible.
It's got this aspect of it where they talk a lot about this singer from that period of time.
And he was killed in the Blitzkrieg.
Yeah, and he's a very popular singer. I can't remember the guy's name, but he had that 40s kind of, not crooners, before crooners.
It was the speakeasy type, not really.
Yeah.
No. It was certain types of places where he danced, but the whole album had a concept, right?
Yeah.
And then and also the Mangus brothers. They have like a huge concept around what they're doing, and it's based on characters, and they come to life when they're playing live. I just love that kind of thing, like just an extension of art from what you are creating audibly, and just making it reach out into different media. Yeah,
without it being sounding like something that should be played at Cirque du Soleil.
Nobody likes Cirque du Soleil.
Yeah, sure. No offense. Sorry, I apologize.
None taken?
Moving on.
Yeah. Oh, just on the artistic side of things, that brings up actually one of the questions about the peak cover with the owls. How'd you come up with that idea?
Oh, okay. So those little white owls, they're actually salt and pepper shakers.
Oh, really?
And I was visiting my brother or something out in the Okanagan. It's a neighboring bioregion to us in BC. And I found these, and I just thought they were amazing. So I brought them home. And last year, when we were living in Weimar, it's a super high elevation in the mountains, and we get amazing snow. So I took the salt and pepper shakers out into the backyard and set them in the snow and took pictures, and that's the front of the album.
Oh, right on, because that's it's a nice one. It could have well, that's kind of cool. It's something different.
Yeah, and it's like you can really see the hoar frost. It's sparkly, and it's a really cool image. And then on the back is a photo. We went and did a photo shoot with Ryan Shane Owen, and he had us hold pieces of scrap because he had just done kind of like a reno in the house.
Right.
He had all scrap wood and pieces, like different squares and long pieces, and we held them. Nice. And then he took photos, and then he photoshopped it, and that's how the back part of the album came.
Yeah, he did a really nice job.
He's amazing. Yeah, you should check out his website. It's ryanshaneowen.com.
He's a wonderful visual artist.
I'll be sure to do that. So we're going to take a quick little break, and we're going to listen to a song off your EP, and this one's called Marvelous Proposition. Dig this.
Right on, thanks.
No problem.
They gave us a marvelous proposition. They gave us a marvelous proposition. Suspended audience. Who would have ever imagined down an abandoned lane? Who would have ever imagined
Right on. That was Meter Bridge with Marvelous Proposition. Now, this was, I think, probably the very first song I played on Music Saturday. And when we first heard it, myself and Nona Catherine from the Matt Andersons, we were just overly impressed with the two of you between the vocals and the layering and just the kind of the timing in general for a lot of the we'll call it the kind of voice delays. And so very very impressed. So this one in particular, Marvelous Proposition. Is it just kind of something you guys an idea you kind of came up with, or did you guys actually get like a really decent deal somewhere?
No, it's a dream. It's like this is what we would love to have is a marvelous proposition.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The music's been kicking around for quite a few years. I used to refer to it as the CBC chords because you'd listen to the CBC like really early in the morning, and they'd have some folk guitar player with open strings on the guitar and playing suspended melodic E minor type chords or whatever. And I don't know. I like the I put a waltz feel like a 3/4 time on it.
Right.
And just it's different in that way. The machine I was using as a drum sampler at the time, I somehow fluked it in with a delay. It wouldn't go 3/4, so I adjusted a delay to it, and somehow it worked. And yeah, I just mucked about with it. And Jill came up with the lyrics one day, and she put down that was probably her third or fourth actual time singing it all the way through. And yeah, I mean, she just pulled it off real quick, and yeah, that's basically how it came about.
No, just in general for your guys' songs, how do you guys kind of work at them? Do you kind of just kind of do it individually and then come together later, or do you kind of sit down together and work on it? Like, how's that dynamic work?
I usually just come up with some music. I force myself to write like a long play, like an LP's worth of chord progressions and arrangements, and the whole bit is, and I'm doing it with software, so I can manipulate it quite a bit. It doesn't take all that long. And then because we'll have broken up sections, we can come up with lyrics like for verses and choruses and B sections and so forth. So yeah, usually that's what I do. I'll actually compose an arranged piece, song in the song format, and then I'll write some of the lyrics sometimes, and it's usually because I'm the one that is in the studio, 14 hours a day or whatever. So, I just end up having a lot more time on the actual equipment. But Jill will come in and do some lyrics, or actually she writes a lot on her own when she's off doing her own thing.
Right.
And yeah, we'll work at it from that kind of angle. But usually it starts with the music.
No, it's just...
And then listening to it constantly because it gets played over and over again, and then it just grooves into my brain, and something springs forth. So I just... But sometimes I write a whole set of lyrics and then just apply it. That happened with Quicksilver, which is coming up on the next album.
Well, so would it be fair to say that you guys have an idea of what you're going to start doing before you do it, or is this kind of just kind of sit down and just kind of start playing around with it?
Oh yeah, totally. I sit there. I personally premeditate the whole thing before I can gumption up the just get into going into the studio, because the studio tends to be arduous because it's a lot of actual it's like what I'm saying is it's all in my head way before it gets to the recording process. And I mean I haven't I've been learning music all my life, so I kind of know where I'm going with keys and musical cadence and theory and stuff like that. So it's right there, and I hear it, so I just apply it to whatever device, a synthesizer, or
right.
I use synth pads and stuff like that, and it's already there. Like I have mainly the melody, and then I kind of muck around with the drum patterns and whatnot. But yeah. Anyways, yeah.
So it's more or less you're just kind of since you premeditated it, you're just kind of going on there, kind of slap it together, and make it final.
Yeah, because that for me tends to be the fun part of it for me is coming up with it, and the other part of it where you engineer the whole thing, you record it, and engineer it, and then mix it, and then fortunately we have somebody that masters it. But all the actual studio time. I'm not really that good at it, so it just
Right.
I just end up.
No.
I make a lot of mistakes.
Well, I was kind of half answered my next question. I was going to say, are there times where you kind of have the idea in your head and you've premeditated, but you get there and you start kind of laying it out and think like, you know what, this really isn't as good as I thought it was, how it sounded in my head, and just kind of completely rework it.
Or I just scrap it. There's lots of times where I have an idea, start working on it, and it just becomes fromage after a while. So
we try to rein each other in on the fromage aspect.
Yeah, we're pretty honest to each other about when something kind of isn't really working. We let each other know, definitely. I mean, just in terms of trying to not sound like, we don't want to sound cheesy, and we don't want to sound like we're trying to be really super pretentious.
Right.
That's what I do. It's like the synth thing tends to have a kind of an image that goes with it, and we fit into the image, but it's not really what we're doing it for. It's actually an actual need to pursue music, or the muse, if you will.
Right. And that's a good way to look at it, and it's just always interesting to me to see how people come about making their music, because since I started with Peter Klein, I've talked to a bunch of different electronic artists, and I got a lot of different answers, which I'm expecting. But it's interesting to see how they do it, because obviously every artist has their different kind of niche, or how they can prepare for that sort of thing. And then, but it's given me even more appreciation for electronic music, and especially Peter Klein, when he was telling me when he records most songs, he only has one shot at it, and that's it. Yeah. And it just, all the respect in the world goes to you guys, because people don't realize, because a lot of people don't realize, because they haven't given the chance to kind of actually sit down and listen and actually hear that there's a lot more depth in a lot of music than they think there is, because they're so used to we'll call it the mainstream, or the we'll call it garbage underground, and the stuff you kind of hear all the time, like the house music stuff you hear, it's just the same beat, just altered a little bit.
Yeah, agreed. And that's, again, that for the longest time that repelled me from electronic music and ambient music.
That being said, though, we have always loved electronic music, and in every genre there's always a gem, so it's not really about what a certain genre is, it's more about what the music
is. We love bands like New Order is a good example, and they obviously had a lot of success with their house rhythms and their songs from the 80s and the early 90s.
Right.
And Hot Chip, too. Hot Chip that's kind of considered house, sort of.
You know what? And there's
definitely considered